plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tight the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the College Sports Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz on the All Sports All Place Network. This is a tape broadcast due to the fact that I have a training on active shooting Saturday. So this was taped on Thursday. Just letting you know ahead of time why you don't see no comments on here or anything like that. This is a pre-recorded segment on the College Breakdown show that we do Saturday morning from 9 until 12, taking you all the way up to kickoff. So we're getting right back into this here on the College Breakdown show. I am Ray Cruz, and I'm bringing back my co-host, my man, the myth, the legend killer, Mr. Dre Montez. All right, let me get you back into the screen here. There we go. Get you back in that screen there. All right, Mr. Dre. Go ahead and promote your show that you do on these podcast airways, Monday through Friday.
Appreciate it. Who's to Blame the podcast? Best way to get it, we're on Spotify. Who's to Blame the podcast? You can go to www.dremontez.com and go from there. We put out a new podcast every Wednesday, but also on my platform of Dre Montez. We also do a show called Montez at Midday, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you get a chance to check that out as well.
Yeah. See, he's a superstar, you know. Yeah, you gotta think that he's all a superstar. He's got the hair, he's got the look, he's got the personality, you know, you got that radio voice, TV voice.
Oh,
you know, Mr. GQ himself. You know, I don't want to get his head too big now. He might not fit the screen anymore if his head gets that big. All right, my friend. All right, let's do some more rapid fire here. Eastern Kentucky versus Kentucky. This is on ESPN Plus and the SEC Network Plus. Who you got?
This is the Pirates playing at Kroger Field.
Yeah, this is Eastern Kentucky playing.
Oh, Eastern Kentucky. Oh, give me Kentucky.
Yeah, we're taking Kentucky on down. We got Southern Utah goes into BYU at 3 o'clock on the Big 12 Network. Who you got?
BYU, all that testosterone. They got locked up in them. Give me them.
BYU. All right, UNLV is Khaki Bats coming back at number 2 in Michigan at 3:30 on CBS. Who you got?
Ooh, give me Captain Khaki Pants on this one. Give me Michigan.
Yeah, take Michigan on that one too. All right, and let's get back here to this action here. We're going to go right down the pipe here. And let me get this one right here. All right, we got this game coming up here. Number 20, Ole Miss, the Running Rebels, are 1-0 against number 24, Tulane Green Waves at 1-0. Let's talk about the Green Waves and Lane Kiffin's boys here for a moment. Let's indulge y'all in this ball game here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for Ole Miss to do against Tulane? Is Tulane for real now?
Is Lane Kiffin for real? Is the question. Is Lane Kiffin for real? I'm tired of the hype with him too as well. Some people have so much hype, sometimes it's based on their upbringing, their parents, or did they really do any damn thing? And with Lane Kiffin, I really know what has he really done to really stick out. And if he can do anything, this is the school to do it. Oxford, Mississippi needs somebody to revitalize that program. They really do. And I thought Lane was going to be the guy, but it seemed like there's some issues going on there as well. Tulane, the Green Wave, the posse in football, they are fun to watch. They're a lot of fun to watch. But I can't remember the Ole Miss quarterback name. What's his name?
Jackson Dart.
Yeah. If he can just settle down and take advantage of what's giving to him, exciting game and a win for Ole Miss. But when they get caught up too much in the X's and the O's, trying to figure out the game as it's being played, now we're behind the ball. We're not ahead of the ball. We're behind now. So that's something you got to watch out for with Lane Kiffin and his whole coaching style. I don't know where he's at in this situation. I like Ole Miss as a program, and I like the fact that Tulane is making noise on the gridiron.
Yeah, and I give you this. The point is, granted, it was supposed to be a blow up at Rock against Mercer, and it did in a 73-3 win. But at the point of a game like that, it got a chance to sharpen up and get some of the reserves some work, and it all worked very well. Jackson Dart solidified himself as the number one quarterback, hitting 18 out of 23 passes for 334 yards and 4 scores. Oklahoma State transfer Spencer Sanders was decent when he got his chance, and now Tulane's defense has to deal with the Rebels' offensive explosion. So if Jackson starts going downhill a little bit, you got this Oklahoma State transfer Spencer Sanders, who's no slouch himself, and no in the wings. So you got the dual threat. You got some quarterbacks here in a situation that it could turn in some good things for Ole Miss. You got to prepare for both of them because you don't know which one's going to play. So that's
sometimes having a two-headed monster at quarterback, it can be a good thing. It can be a really good thing if you know how to use it the right way. Got to know how to use it the right way because you don't want to lose the confidence of either one of these kids.
But
you want to coach him up in that moment of opportunity to understand, hey, I'm going to sub him in on this play or this series or this particular play on this drive. But you got to keep the coaching up.
Yeah.
Can't coach down at that moment because if you're going to use both of them, they both got to be on the same page.
And if you look at it this way too, when you change out one to the other, you don't think they changing out because he can run the ball better. Sanders can throw the ball too, so it's the whole playbooks for both of them. You got to deal with them because they can run the same plays with both of them in the game because both of them can pass and both of them can run. The bigger thing for Ole Miss defense that should be even more aggressive and stronger is like getting into the backfield when it was last year. The offense will work, but there's no getting out of Yeoman with a win unless the front that was so good in the opener can continue. So does Tulane offense give this Ole Miss defense a fit today?
I want to see Ole Miss defense get tested. So I want to see what Tulane can do with the ball in the middle of the field and stretching the field. I want to see Ole Miss get tested that way. I haven't seen them get battle tested like that in a while. And that would give me points for Ole Miss because I believe in the Ole Miss program, but I just need to know where is Lane Kiffin going with this? What is the game plan, Coach? What is our direction? What is our team story? What's our motto this year, Coach? Tell me that. I got Ole Miss winning this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a learning curve, more for the coaches to figure out where Lane Head is at in this situation. He's not even playing, but he's putting this game plan together.
Yeah, and if you look at it this way, Tulane will have a 90-pound chip on their shoulder as it looks to show the world that one, yeah, it's the best of the group of five teams once again and should be the lead dog in the chase for the New Year's Six bowl game. And number two, it's ready to not be a group of five program and should get everyone talking about a possibility of soon getting a call from, say, the ACC or the Big 12.
Okay.
But
A lot of
there,
things on the line. A lot of things online.
But that's for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Both offense will roll up and down the field, but this week Ole Miss running game that was struggling against Mercer will show up with more punch. Tulane won't get the five takeaway it cranked up against South Alabama, but it will get two to make this interesting late. So that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
The over and under is 65 for this game. Ole Miss is favored by 7.5 points. They saying Ole Miss is going to win 37 to Tulane's 34. So it's going to be a field goal victory. That's what they're calling here. So, my friend, who are you taking in this ball game? Do you believe in Lane Kiffin? You believe in Lane Kiffin, or do you believe in Tulane?
I don't believe in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, but I know there's a person in the suit that gives gifts out, and I know I get eggs from a rabbit some kind of way that seem to have different coloring to it. I'm going with Ole Miss. Going with Ole Miss. I want to see something from this program, something to ease my mind about this program.
I'm taking
That's what I
Tulane.
want to see.
I'm taking Tulane in this game. I'm going with the Green Waves. They're going to wave bye-bye. So let's go here, ladies and gentlemen, for our next game. Our next game, ladies and gentlemen, will be this one. The Texas A&M, number 22, Texas A&M versus the Hurricanes of Miami. 1-0. Both teams coming in 1-0. This is down in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, outside of Miami. Down south, about 5.5 hours from me here in Jacksonville. So, my friend Jimbo Fisher comes back into the ACC, brings his number 23 Texas A&M Aggies out of Calfield down to the Hard Rock Stadium. Will Miami fill up the stadium this year?
No. But the U is trying to come back. They're just missing maybe one letter. I don't know if it's the B or the K, but the U is trying to come back. They're trying. I can see the kids. I can see the program. Even the recruits that are coming in the next couple of years, I can see they're attempting to get things back on the right track, but it's going to take some time. This is not something that can be done overnight. It's going to take some time to get to that point. I'm not talking a 10-year plan, but a 4 to 5 year plan. I can see the U being a more prominent name in households again, not like Catholics versus convicts, anything like that, but more as getting in the right bowl situation, even getting in a playoff tree scenario. I'm liking what I see. I like this matchup. Jimbo Fisher is still pissed that things have not went the way he thought it would go, other than fattening his pockets. He got the bag. But give me what I want. I could see the U doing something, making some noise right here.
I look at this situation here. Crystal Ball comes in. It's the second year at Miami. You said it's going to be about a 3 to 4 year process or 4 to 5 year process.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be the same situation. But you're talking about South Florida. You're talking about the recruits in South Florida. You're talking about Florida State going down there. You're talking about Florida trying to get down in there. You're trying to talk about UCF is getting down in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now USF is getting down in there now.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Florida schools are starting to get in these Florida recruits down in that Miami area that Miami had a stranglehold in the 1980s that nobody could hardly get out of there. So now we talk about everybody's been in that recruit. Miami's getting down. Miami went from the Big East to the ACC and hadn't really turmoiled their name into the ACC like they were supposed to. But now you talk about Jimbo Fisher and what his problems at Texas A&M, trying to get the offense on stride. They scored 52 points last week. First time they scored 52 points since they scored 38 points against LSU last year.
The Nixon administration, probably. It's been a long time they put up that many points.
But A&M is cranking up the offense against anyone matters, but now it moves up to a varsity level against a Miami defense with potential the best safety it will deal with all year in Kamara Kitchens and James Williams, a defensive line that will bring more pressure than Wageman saw last week. And they're actually a wee bit of a downside to all of the changes in College Station. The time of possession battle, Texas A&M might not have scored in bunches over the last several years, but it controls the tempo with its style for a good and bad. So we're talking about the running game. Will Texas A&M be able to run on Miami's defensive line?
More than 50, less than 100 yards they'll get on the ground. I can see that. I'm more concerned about the passing with A&M than the running game.
Now, talking about that one here, let's talk about that. Carlos Wiseman had 5 touchdowns against the Lobos, which is a little bit step down from Miami. But they scored 52-13 win over the NC State in the 2018 Texas Air Bowl. So Wiseman had 5 touchdowns against the Lobos. Efficiency of the attack under a new offensive coordinator and Bobby Petrino. Mr. Bobby B. Bobby P. He got the cheerleader in the back of his thing going down to Miami now. Was a big deal. There was more pace, more downfield plays, far more pop than pass attack. Miami has to deal with it all. The Hurricanes offense was able to beat Miami University 38-3 without sweating hard, but there were only a few big pass plays with a running game doing most of the heavy lifting. The ground game won't work against the Texas A&M defensive front. Can Miami run the ball like they did last week?
Yes, I think Miami better run the ball against A&M. I really do. I think A&M is going to be so timid about the passing game that they're going to let the running game go. And once that opens up, that leads to play action. That leads to stretching the field. It leads to 11 different receivers getting involved with touching the ball. That's what that leads to, a big passing day, big high completion rates for them as well. When you have those little short drops and can run the ball successfully, that's a good day on all sides for the offensive line as well as the quarterback.
Yeah, if you look at Miami's quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke looked great, hitting 17 out of 22 passes, should be enough to own the tempo. Texas A&M, the time of possession probably won't matter too much, and Miami would rather work with more pace, but in a 90-degree plus weather with a 10,000% humidity, there's a chance of rain. Ball control will matter. These are 2 extremely proud programs with extremely reasonable, high expectation, looking at this as a breakthrough game after 5-7 in 2022. If it's possible, that will be true for both sides. My Texas A&M offense will once again look sharp and efficiency, but Miami will come up with enough stops to bend but not break game that turns into an okay, let's call it official moment with Mario Cristobal era starts to get going. Can A&M leave Hard Rock kicking themselves for a missed opportunity, or will they actually win this ball game? The over and under
coming up short.
The over and under is 51. Texas A&M is favored by 4.5. They predict Miami's going to score 27. Texas A&M is going to score 26. Miami's going to pull the upset by 1 point. Do you agree with that score?
I don't agree with the score, but I like the pick. I got Miami winning this game. I think A&M is going to come up short. They don't wake up till like week 4 or 5 anyway.
I think Texas A&M is going to pull the wool over everybody's eyes this week. I think they're going to be up for this game. I think they're out to get some. I think Jimbo Fisher's out to try to prove himself. But with Bobby Petrino back and Texas A&M offense is now going up and down the field with some vertical passes, I think this is going to be a good time to shine here in Miami. And I think that running game is going to be a little bit more powerful than Miami's. I think the physicality of Texas A&M is going to prevail in this ball.
Okay.
That's my pick, man. Sticking to it. All right, my friends, let's move right along here. We're gonna go down the. We're gonna do a little bit more of a rapid fire until we get to the Texas State, and see where are we. Yeah, Texas State, and UTSA. When we get to that game, we'll break that game down. Let's do a little bit more rapid fire. Iowa goes into Iowa State at 3:30 against Fox on Fox Network. What you got? Who you got in this
Iowa.
one? You're taking the visiting team. I think I'm a toss up in this one myself, but I'm going with the visiting team myself. Richmond goes into Lansing, Michigan to play Michigan State at 3:30 on the BNT network.
Me, Michigan State.
Yeah, I don't think Richmond has enough firepower to match up with Michigan State. UTEP goes into Northwestern at 3:30. This is on the BNT Extra.
Me, Northwestern. Give me them Wildcats.
Oh, you taking the Wildcats? I'm gonna take UTEP in this one. Western Michigan at Syracuse. This game is at 3:30 on ESPN Plus and ACC Extra Network. What do you see in this ball? What do you feel? You feel that Syracuse is going to win, or do you feel Western Michigan is going to win?
I'm feeling Syracuse needs this win, so I'm gonna go with Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm going with Dino Barber. He wins early, but then falls at the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miami, Ohio. Can you get back on track at Massachusetts at 3:30 on ESPN Plus? Who you got in this ball game?
Miami, Ohio, UMass. Give me Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami. Actually, I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna take the other team.
I'm gonna take UMass.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance to catch me. All right, my friend, let's get down to the business here. We're going to go to take care of this one right here. The next game we're going to talk about is Texas State Bobcats are coming in at 1-0 against UTSA, the Roadrunners, who comes in at 0-1. Texas State Bobcats, man. Let's talk about the Bobcats here a little bit on the state. Some people say we go out for the big games. No, we don't. We got small colleges here taking center stage right now on our show. Not like ESPN that stays with the big boys sometimes, you know. You got to mix it up here. So when you look at UTSA coming off that big loss in week 1, can they get it turned around here?
I thought they were going to show me a little bit more flash on offense, a little nastiness on the defense, but it looked like, again, overhyped themselves for this game, for that matchup, I do believe. So I think now they're back in the seat where they need to be, can understand what happened. That's another thing. When you lose a game and the expectations are high, I'm more intrigued about that practice of that week and the message that the players are and the coaches are giving the players. When you lose a game and the expectations were so high for you to compete and win this game, not by a lot, but still win the game, and you don't. How is that week of practice and preparation going to go to get you back on track and pace to be more of a competing team? That's what I want to see what UTSA can do, because there's been a lot of finger point at that program where that program was moving in the right direction, but this little setback, I hope it doesn't hurt them too much.
Yeah, I get too. But when I was watching some of the games and I seen this Texas State team, you know, come up and to look at a little bit here. Jeff Taylor has a lot of work to do, but he's not going with a whole tempo of a lot of wide receivers this passing game to work his deep group to spread the ball around, but the ground attack might be the star early on. But Texas State was able to hold tough in a 31-24 loss to SMU, but it gave up 544 yards of total offense here. So, you know. So the Bobcats are not really formidable. Roadrunners are the front runners to lead the Conference USA in tackles for loss and should be lived behind the line against this Texas State team. What do you see? How does Texas Tech counteract that? Not trying to get there. You got to get a ground game going. We got to get that going.
Texas State.
Yeah.
Trying to establish the run game early.
Yep.
That's the thing. When you're trying to establish whether it's the pass game or the run game early, you got to make sure you're calling the right plays and you see the defensive formation that you think you can take advantage of. Not that many teams audible in college football the way I would like them to, especially when they see that the play that they have called is not going to work. They already have it covered, coach. If they can get the right plays that are available for them when they're trying to establish the run, I can see the confidence factor building for them. But if it's not there, you're forced to go to the air early when you don't want to. And you're passing now on 3rd and 4 instead of believing in that run game to make it a first down on that 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I got you on that one. I believe that thing, but the offense, where they struggled late, Texas State did, was Calvin Hill ran for 100 yards and Brock Stokes added 95 in a score. But their running defense is not really made to stop a team. And if UTSA is having a problem running don't have a problem running the ball, but they did last week. So can UTSA? This is a formula for UTSA to get their running game back against this Texas State Bobcats defense. So do they get it back on track here in this ball game?
I mean, that's the idea to have. You want to get back on track to where you should be. You have the talent. You have everybody healthy at the right moment. What is stopping us? But if it's not there, don't put yourself in the situation. Now you done lost the confidence of the team. You don't believe in the run game no more, the play action, and now we're just going to pass the ball 65% of the time. But it's just making sure that you covered that in practice this week to get you prepared for this 10, because the game film works both ways. It can work for you and against you, and it's up to you how to utilize it in practice.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. But they're saying that Texas State's passing attack is more consistent and might give fits to the UTSA's defense and secondary. But if that front seven is the best for the UTSA, if they can't make no disruptive and they can't get no pass rush in there, then Texas State could sustain their offense and go for the passing attack to lead to their running attack. So some teams sometimes use the pass attack to set the running game up.
Right.
So that's why I look in this ball game here. The over and under in this game is 58.5. Texas State is favored by 9 points. So they predicting the score to be Texas State 31, UTSA 26. Who you got in this ball game?
I'm going to take UTSA.
I'm going to take them too. I think they're going to get back on track. I think they were pressing a little bit. I think that's what they are going to look here. All righty, my friend. We're going to go up here we're going to do some more rapid fire here. We got a lot of games covered, and we can't break them all down at one time here. So we're going to have to go with some rapid fire. Here, my friend. Let's go back to our scene here for rapid fire. Wagner at Navy at 3:30, CBS Sports Network. Who you got in this ball game?
Navy, baby.
Yep, Navy all the way, Anchors away.
Navy.
Southern Illinois versus Northern Illinois. Who you got?
Northern Illinois. They party.
Yeah, the party now. Texas Southern at Toledo at 3:30. Who you got? Toledo. All right, Kent State at Arkansas. Who you got?
Give me Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
That's what I'm taking too. Marshall at East Carolina, another party school down in Greenville, North Carolina, on the hill. If they have East Carolina victory, they'll throw a big party on the hill. So, who you got in this ballgame?
We are Marshall. Me, Marshall.
Taking Marshall. Yeah, I got to take Marshall because right now ECU's offense, I don't know what's going on with it because their starting former quarterback is gone now. They got a backup quarterback. He didn't look too good against Michigan. I can't pull the trigger on that right now. Cal Poly versus San Jose State at 4 o'clock.
I'm going to give San Jose State another shot. Give me San Jose State.
Yeah, I'm going to give them two. Portland State at Wyoming.
Give me Wyoming.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to be roping some Portland State people there. Tulsa goes into the Husky at number 8, Washington at 5 p.m. against the Pac-12 on the Pac-12 network. What do you got in this ball game?
Washington.
Take Washington too. Austin P at number 9, Tennessee, ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus.
Let's go with Tennessee.
Number 9, Tennessee. Yep, I'm gonna go there. Southeast Louisiana versus South Alabama at 5 o'clock, ESPN Plus. Who you got?
Give me South Alabama.
Taking South Alabama. Take South Alabama too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next game we're going to break down to is drum roll. Can we get a drum roll? Our next game we're breaking down, ladies and gentlemen, is Appalachian State Mountaineers goes into Keenan Memorial Stadium at number 17, North Carolina, the Tar Heels. All righty.
State and the Tar Heels.
Last year's game up in Boone, North Carolina was a heartbreaker for Appalachian State. Can Drake May and the North Carolina Tar Heels defense reduplicate what they did against South Carolina in opening week with the defense having 9 sacks? Appalachian State's got a new quarterback who's more mobile, but Rattler did not give Carolina fits last week either. He was a mobile quarterback too. So now the question is, does that game 1 for the Tar Heels translate into game number 2 against Appalachian State?
I don't think nobody approaches the same game week after week with the same type of style and play. And I can tell North Carolina has grown up by watching what they did this year. I like the speed that they have. Did not see that coming as fast as it did. But I think Carolina is going to be taken seriously this year. And I think they're off to a good start. I can see them competing highly in this game. But they got to minimize the mistakes and capitalize on their opponent's mistakes. So this could be a good win for Carolina. So I got Carolina winning this game.
Yeah, I look at it this way. Drake May, he has some forced turnovers that he could have just thrown the ball away. I think the turnover was more his doing than it was the defense's doing against South Carolina. But what impresses me is Gene Chizik saying that last year he used a vanilla defense, which it was true because he didn't know all the talent that he had on that defense. He took it over last year from Bateman. But then he's now got some of his recruits in there. He got some of the same players. Not too many changes on that defense, except for the secondary, but the front 7. But they got to keep guy back. And come on, Fox. Yes, we missed him last year. We got suspended for the whole year because he performed enhancing PED things and stuff. But he is back. He has solidified the defense. My friends, I'm still got a little bit of book out on the defense. I got to watch this game against Appalachian State because Appalachian State likes to do a lot of mismatch against these teams up there. And they don't give up. They play to the final whistle, even though it could be a closer game than what we were anticipating here. Now, Drake May, he's been unscathed right now. He had 2 interceptions, poorly thrown ball, poorly thrown decisions. Sometimes when he gets out and runs the ball, and he's out there in space, he likes to force the ball. Sometimes he's like a Brett Favre type deal. Wants to force that ball. He thinks he can make every completion there is. So tossing the ball away. Appalachian State defense against Gardner-Webb, they struggled a little bit at the beginning, but then turned it on in that fourth quarter to get them the victory. How does Appalachian State's defense counter up to North Carolina's offense? But I'm going to tell you right now, if Taz today is supposed to be to find out if Taz Walker gets cleared to play. He didn't play. He didn't play. He is their speedster. But guess who let it up against South Carolina? Pastor. Do not keep your eye on that because if Taz Walker comes back, Pastor got his confidence last week. So now, if Taz Walker does play, how does Appalachian defense contain North Carolina wide receiver core?
This game is going to be for App State to hang their own defense. Something bad is going to have to happen, i.e., dropping the ball, tip drill, pick six, stand up on the receivers and containing the receivers, not letting them get outside of you and take over the game. That's what App State must do. Keep the receivers in front of them. It's easier said than done because we know the speed on the outside of Carolina can be tested at times. But if App State can do that, they can find themselves on one side of the game. They feel as though they can compete. But if you can't move the ball on the offense, that's where we get that tug and pull from, where the defense is outworking the offense.
Yeah, I look at it this way. But my thing is the North Carolina's offense did not give up too many sacks against South Carolina, which was great. I mean, I think the front seven of South Carolina is a little bit better than the front seven of Appalachian State. So if they can do what they can do against South Carolina, hopefully they can translate it against Appalachian State. But Appalachian State's defense is number one against the run in Sun Belt Conference. But this year they got Brooks back, who has made a difference. They had Green last year, who is a backup. Carolina has a whole slew of freaking running backs. They got Porter, who, they got a lot of plays in there. Carolina has now changed over from a heavy passing dose to a balanced offense. Can Carolina establish that running game once again to be effective and have over 167 yards again this week against Appalachian State?
I think Carolina can establish the run. And when they do establish the run, they got to keep in mind, don't keep the game within striking distance of App State, or you could be part of a special on Sunday talking about how did you let this game get away from you. You got to keep your eye on the prize when it comes to App State. They're a team that does not stop playing the game of football. They're like playing Madden. 2 seconds on the game, they still feel as though they can win with a game-winning drive with 2 seconds. So if they can do that, and that run does tick, 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 eats up that clock, and you don't have to rush as much when you're in control of the game. In ball control and minimizing the turnovers, you can have total control of this ball game, Carolina.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that's going to be a thing, but I want to see the Appalachian State had a lower start quarterback, but they switched quarterbacks and the offense switched a little bit, took more place with the backup quarterback. I want to see how does North Carolina detain a running quarterback that does run the ball a little bit more than what they do in passing. Appalachian State showed that in the first week against Garner-Webb. It kind of turned over in that fourth quarter a little bit more. But North Carolina is also, what we say, have now gotten faster on the defense. So that running quarterback could be a factor where North Carolina could take it away with the speed, because they're not looking like getting out of their lanes. The defensive end doesn't get out of their lanes against Spencer Rattler. Rattler's a much better quarterback than some of these Appalachian State guys. But the scheme for Appalachian State has been a fantastic over the last year or so, and it has given Carolina fits. They have beaten Carolina and Chapel Hill before. Carolina beat Appalachian and Boone last year. Can Carolina now take the second straight against Appalachian State? I got to go with my boys. I think North Carolina's going to win it. I don't think it's going to be handily, but I think they win it by 10.
Okay. I like that. Good numbers you brought up in here. I'm taking North Carolina in this one too as well. I like what I saw last week. I like that.
All right, guys, we're moving right along here. We're going to go right into our next pick, our next game here. We're going to go right into this one here. Our next one is SMU, the Mustangs 1-0 against number 18, Oklahoma Sooners, number 1-0, and Memorial Stadium at Norman, Oklahoma. This game is at 6 p.m. on the ESPN Plus. My friend, Oklahoma looked pretty good the first week. Can they keep it up against the Mustangs, who also look good the first week?
It can keep it up against the Mustangs for sure. But, again, this is the foolishness that we fall for with Oklahoma. They do this every year. They come out hot, getting everybody hopes up, but then we know what's going to happen in 6 or 7 weeks. Same old Oklahoma. I got a feeling in order to change things up, they got to keep the same message going the entire season. Don't let it leak. Don't weaken the strength of the message as the weeks progress with Oklahoma football. Because to me, it seems it happens that way each and every year. 6-7 weeks down the line, that's a different football team that we saw week 0, week 1, and week 2. I don't see the growth that I want to see from them. In years past, we got returning players and coaches. They know they've been down this road before. So if they can keep their head out of their own ass, I can see Oklahoma winning this game very easily, very easily. But we know the mistakes of the road and mistakes of thinking you have things under control at home. It can easily get out of hand. But I want to see Boomer Sooner come back into the mix of things.
Yeah, I do too. I like to see what they're gonna do with the defensive coach and stuff like that. But I agree with you to a certain point. But at a certain point now, they're gonna be tested this week with SMU's passing attack
Right.
on this thing. You got to look at this. Oklahoma's coming off a 73-0 opening win over Arkansas State, which is not a very impressive team in Arkansas State. The Sooners outgained the Red Wolves 642 yards and to 208 yards. It won't matter if the Sooners laid an egg against SMU. The Mustangs offer a significant jump in quality of competition. SMU will leave the American Athletic Conference for the Atlantic Coast Conference next year, but they wouldn't mind beating a Power 5 opponent ahead of the move. So, if you look at it, Dylan Gabriel, who came out of UCF last year to Oklahoma, now he's in the second year as the Sooners. Didn't pass downfield much in their opening, but they might be prepared to the capability of that. He can pass the ball downfield, but he can also run the ball. He's also a good game management type player. But SMU held Louisiana Tech to 28 yards rushing on 24 carries. The Mustang needs a limited Oklahoma ground attack and try to pressure the Sooners quarterback Daniel Gabriel. Can SMU's pass rush get back there to Gabriel?
They could try to disrupt them, but I don't think that's going to be the key component to winning the game if SMU tries to go out and think their defense is going to be the one to do it. Yeah, hitting them in the mouth is hard. You got to get there. Attempting to get there is a big difference. Did you get there? If you don't get there, you left somebody wide open. A big play is about to happen. So they got to be wary of that. The double coverages, the trick plays on the defensive side, the last-minute switch, the moving up front, all that are going to be type of distractions to jolt Texas. It's going to be, who are we talking about? Oklahoma?
Yeah. Oklahoma
It's going to be all that to get Oklahoma unraveled so quickly because we know what happens when they make mistakes. They just throw the ball, nobody's open, pick six happen, and then the turnovers, and then it comes a dirty game, unselfish game, penalties everywhere, everybody's jumping off sides. They don't want that style of Oklahoma football to come up. So if SMU tries to apply pressure with their defense, I would be smart about it, especially on the pass game. You don't want to overrush and leave somebody wide open if somebody gets that last-minute chip block or someone missed that blocking assignment. It's going to be a big one.
Understand that. That's good thing too. But we're talking about the defense of Oklahoma. Is Oklahoma defense going to overmatch SMU's offense?
See, in that big win they had, that was more about seeing what the defense could do. They really had the ball a lot on this side of the 30, so that wasn't important. In fact, it was the way they got the ball. It was when their opponent had the ball. What was the defense doing? That's what I was looking at in the highlights. What is the defense doing? They lackadaisical. Was there communication out there? The substitutions were on point. Next man up was ready. In a game like that, you got to see what the next man has going on if he's ready in case somebody gets the i.e. injury in a game like that. In blowouts like that, you definitely got to be careful on the senseless injuries that do occur in this game. But that's what I can see from Oklahoma. I don't think it's more about their defense. I think their defense can hold up enough where the offense can put up enough points where they could win the game. Not in blowout fashion, but typical early part of the season for OU football.
So, my friend, do you say number 18 Oklahoma going to beat SMU today?
Yes, I take OU winning this game.
I agree with you too. I think Oklahoma is too tough at home and stuff like that. So, my friend, we're going to go up back to our rapid fire here. We got a lot of games and we can't cover all of them, so we're gonna go back to our rapid fire segment here. Lafayette goes into Wallace Wade Stadium against number 21 Duke. Yes, I said it right. Number 21 Duke. You know, Duke hasn't been ranked in a while, so number 21 Duke Blue Devils, who put a ass whooping on Clemson, already gonna put an ass whooping on, excuse my French, Lafayette.
Give me Duke, man. I want to see can they be consistent with the play. I want to see that same hype. I want to see that elusive speed that their quarterback showed me. It didn't look like he was running, but he got past a couple of defenders in a very nice way.
Yeah, I got to go with Duke. I'm not picking them because, you know, I hate them and stuff like that, but I'm a biased broadcaster right now. I'm in my job, so I got to go with my thing. I think Duke Leonard Riley is a little bit better quarterback than anybody really expected him to be. And the nuance that they brought up on the telecast was he has his mom calls him up or texts him and tells him he sucks.
Still got to do that homework, though. Still got to get that homework done.
Yeah, and he sent it to the next day. Man, my homework's gonna be late because Duke professor he said nope. You gotta be on time, man. You gotta be on time. You gotta be
no
time.
No special privileges for you. That's why college got in trouble years ago, because of players like that thinking they deserve a special privilege because you play a particular sport. But get that homework in and Duke, let's get this W.
New Mexico State will go to Liberty at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Who you got in this contest?
Liberty stay in the news more than Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual. I don't understand how these kids even have the focal point to even play football, considering what's been happening at Liberty. But I'm going to take Liberty because I saw that little snippet documentary about that football team, and I just like the way they communicate and talk to each other.
I got Liberty too. All right, my friend. Duquesne at West Virginia. They're going back up where they got the relatives together in Morgantown. Tough to play at 6 p.m. Big 12 versus ESPN Plus. You better hire your grandkids and everything else because they don't care up there. You know, they like their family members too. You know. So
if she ain't good enough for you, that means she wasn't good enough for our family.
So when you go to the barbecue up in West Virginia, and you got a hot looking cousin around, they're gonna tell her like it's fine wine in China up there. But does West Virginia get back on track against?
Yes, I think this is the right matchup they need to get back on track. Sometimes you need that humbling moment to realize you're not the prettiest girl in the world anymore, or the prettiest one on your block anymore, and that's exactly what happened with West Virginia. They thought they were all that, and they got slapped in the mouth. They were not prepared, and you took an L. Now they're going to treat this like it should have been the first game of the year. So it's a do-over. So give me West Virginia.
All right, on game number 43 for today, UAB versus Georgia Southern at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Who you got in this ball game?
That's so Trent Dilfer at UAB, right?
Yep.
Give me him. I like the story of all that about it. UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham.
I'm gonna take Georgia Southern. I don't know why, but I just think I have a feeling Georgia Southern's gonna win at home. I just don't. I don't get the same vibe that I get from prime time from the ex Trent Dilfer. You know, I don't get that same vibe there. You know, but Ohio, the Bobcats at Florida Atlantic at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Who you have in this ball game?
Ohio Bobcats at who?
The Florida Atlantic Owls.
Give me Florida Atlantic.
You gonna take Florida Atlantic? I'm gonna take Ohio. I don't know why, but I just feel like give me some bonus points, you know. Louisiana at Old Dominion. You gotta lock up the convicts so you can get into Hampton Roads. So you can go down Hampton Boulevard When you get that campus, you got to get a police escort till you get on campus, and they lock the gates. Does the Sail Asylum of Old Dominion get back on track against Louisiana?
Give me Louisiana.
You taking Louisiana? I'm going to take Louisiana, too. Morgan State at Akron. No LeBron James, hometown of Akron, but he don't even go for his own hometown team. He goes for Ohio State and Dallas Cowboys.
Let me go with Akron.
You going to Akron? I think the Zip's going to zip them. All righty. Foreman at Buffalo at 6 p.m. You going Buffalo? I'm going to go Buffalo, too. I don't know about Foreman. Foreman's in that Division II. North Texas versus Florida International at 6:30 on ESPN Plus.
Me Florida International.
You going Florida International? I'm going to take the Green Wave. I'm going Mean Greens. I'm going to North Texas. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. This game is on CBW Network. Yes, CBW Network is getting it. You going with Cincinnati?
The Natty.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one. I think Pittsburgh. All right, our next game we're going to break down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a barn burner game. It's going to be the game that I consider part of the game of the week this week. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is number 11, Texas Longhorn, 1-0, goes into number 3, Alabama Crimson Tide at Bryant-Denny Stadium at 1-0, Alabama at 7 p.m. on ESPN. We know what happened last year. Texas was leading until their starting quarterback got hurt. Now he's back. Can he do the same thing? And can they go into Alabama and do what Alabama did to them in Texas? How do you look at this ball game, my friend?
Well, it's kind of funny, man. Nick Saban is not the focal point of the college football world, is the main story. Roll Tide is not the greatest caption right now as it used to be, even though they got that sorority show going on right now to even help support the SEC. That's not where the vision is at anymore. And we know what's coming to Texas. We know what is on the way to Texas. Everybody just anticipating that. You're right. Texas should have won that game last year. They should have won that game. But again, the play calling situation, you don't have to hurry up when you play Alabama. Just because they scored fast don't mean you have to do that. You cannot compete with them when it comes with speed on every side of the ball. They have men that are 375 pounds that can run a 4.240. That's unfair. It's unconstitutional. But Texas does this all the time. They tease us with what they possibly could do if they played the entire game. But Texas plays three-quarter football. They don't play the entire game. Can you imagine if Texas played the entire game? How good Texas program would have been the past 5 years if they played the entire game. They think they have these games won. They think they have the opposing team figured out, and it comes down to the purest fact of the game. They don't when they take that L. I still think they're frauding it out right here, man. I don't think they're going to play their best. Nick Saban is going to be Nick Saban. I think it's too much talent on that Bama team for them to worry about playing bad in the first 4 weeks of the season as they normally do. I think he's trying to shift that mode on them coming out the gate hot, offensively and defensively, stirring up the mix even more.
Yeah, I agree with you in that certain point. But sure was 9 out of 11 in the last year's 2019 loss before getting knocked out of the game. Xavier Worthy caught 5 passes for 97 yards to set the tone, and Alabama was back on the heels. Alabama still have to prove its defense is in place to consistently handle high-power offense. Middle Tennessee wasn't a challenge in a 56-7 win, but Skurs has more weapons at his disposal this year. Ohio State might have the best top targets in the country, but the Longhorns are loaded with more than just Worthy, Isaiah Newer, tight end Javon Sanders, Adomina Mitchell. This should be the best receiving core Alabama will deal with all year. So
You're exactly right. You're right about that. I'm trying to figure out in my head when the last time we really talked about a dominant Alabama defense. It's been more about what they can do individual performance on defense, but not as a team. Offensively, we talk about that offense can put up so many points. By the time you look up, you're down 28-0. But on the defensive side, that's been the most challenging thing with them. Every loss Bama has had the past 5 years, it comes up on the defense not showing up. So you're right. They could be tested on this game for sure.
now, number 2, Alabama penalty committed against Middle Tennessee. That might not seem like a big deal, but it sure was in the last year's meeting with the Longhorns with the tie was flagged 15 times and called a break that it wasn't 25. They said the penalties that Alabama had 15 times they were called flag. It should have been 25 more. They could have had 25 more times, but they didn't call some of the calls. But
because they're scared of Nick Saban. Everybody knows that. Those refs are afraid of him. His skull, what he gives them when he shakes his visor, when he does the vibrating dance over there, the old break dancing move from the 80s. That's over with. Just let them play football, refs, and call the game as you see fit, what's happening in front of you. You know what a hold is. You know what unsportsmanlike conduct is. You know what spearing is. And you know if he took his helmet off on the field to play or not. That's all they got to do is call the game in the trenches. That's all they got to do.
This year is no Bryce Young. There's no Jamar Gibbs. And the receiving core is a tad bit questionable. And yet the offense rolled at will. And against, there were many mistakes. But Jalen Monroe looked like he's about to make the offense his or he led the team with 48 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and threw for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So let's talk about the Alabama quarterback situation here. They lost Bryce Young to the NFL, finally, after being there so long. We talk about the offense as being high-power offense, but now they got a quarterback. Now they have a quarterback situation here that Texas got a veteran quarterback this time, and now Alabama's got the freshman quarterback here starting. How does Texas defense garner his mobility because he can run the ball, but he's more of a runner than he is an effective passer?
Nick Saban hates giving responsibility to freshman quarterbacks. We all know that. We know how he feels about the freshman quarterback. We know how he feels about the quarterback position as a whole. He has not really had that top dog quarterback. He's had some Swiss knives back there, but somebody sit in the pocket and just tear you apart. That's not what he's about right there. They're about putting that ball on the ground and running that thing. And he's in the same situation as Georgia. They got to coach up the quarterbacking position when it comes to playing the game. It may not go the way you think it's going to go, but hang with me now, and we can win this game. Just don't go anything outside of the box, what we talked about. Don't go out here doing what you think is open and doing what you think is right, because the game is so fast. Again, we couldn't go full speed in practice. They don't allow us to do that. This is going to be real full speed you see out here.
Yeah, I got you on that. That's something that we got to really look at about this Alabama team. Their defense still got to be consistent without the pass rush of their big pass rusher who's now left going to the NFL. So I mean, they got talent on the team because they recruit very well at Alabama. But now let's talk a little bit about Texas and losing Bijan Robinson, the best running back they had, and now they got to kind of find an answer for that. Does Texas have a running back and a running offense to keep Alabama honest, not having them blitz Euro all the time?
See, when you try to replace when you had a great position player and they're gone, whether injury or transfer or took it to the next level, I think running back by committee is the way to do it, because they know just as much as you do in game preparation for this young man. Let's see what he can do out here. Running back committee, I think, is a good way to go, especially against a team like Alabama. Unless you already got that one dog and you're already on your squad, that 6'4", 6'5", Derrick Henry type speed. We know that's 1 in a million to find somebody like that. But let's just say Texas found somebody like that. He's on the sideline, and the game is not going the way you want it to go, and you need a little momentum push for the offensive line. Put that kid in the game and see what can happen. Not everybody wants to get hit by a big man running downhill. Not everybody wants them big-ass thighs. No, not everybody wants that hit in their chest. And that goes both ways. Not everybody want to get hit. So this is the best way to figure out when you're indecisive at the quarterback position, i.e. Bama, or you're indecisive at the running back position, i.e. Texas. Let's get in here and do this thing as a group as a whole, what we call committee style, and see what can happen. And then maybe you might find that window of opportunity talent, like you see something at a second and long play that we called on the run. You didn't think that kid had it in him. But you think you're out of this situation on a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and you decide to run a screen and you see something totally different you didn't see out of this kid. Now that opens up the playbook. That opens up the momentum push and the confidence builder. Because it's about confidence and momentum push the entire game in a matchup like this. You don't want nobody getting down on themselves, because the moment they do, here come the yellow handkerchief.
Yeah, I look at it that way too. If Alabama doesn't get too many penalties, they could probably handle this game. But I don't think Alabama is going to be totally penalty free in this ball game. I think there's going to be some crucial penalties here. Hopefully, there won't be no questionable calls in this ball game like it was last year.
They took up too much time calling them plays last year. The referee, I now remember that, Ray. That's a good point. They took too many TV timeouts on these calls that we saw at home. It should not take that much time to make that call.
Yeah.
But again, it only happens when Nick Saban is playing. It only happens when he is playing in the game. The refs take that long to make a decision on a call.
Well, they got Alabama favored by 7. Over and under in this is 54.5. They say Alabama's going to win 38-16. I'm taking Texas. Who you got?
I'm taking Bama in this one, man. I'm taking Bama. Texas, I still think the anticipation, the excitement about Texas is going to be more for next year than this year. They're counting on 24, 25 to be their year.
All right, we're gonna move right along here. We're gonna go. Our next breakdown will be. We're gonna stay in the Texas flavor here. We got about Texas football here. We're gonna go to. We're gonna go to the next game. We're gonna be breaking down here, ladies and gentlemen, on the College Breakdown Show is number 13 Oregon Ducks 1-0, going to take the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock, Texas. 0-1. What do you see out of this ballgame? What do you see from Bo Nix doing in this game? Can he replicate what he did the first week and scoring 81 points for this Oregon Ducks team?
I think the smartest thing Bo Nix did was leaving Ole Miss. It was the smartest thing he did.
Oh, he left Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, Auburn. That was the smartest thing he did. Now he can start his own story, his own path, his own legacy. And in college football, if your dad was the big man on campus, that's hard to get up under or over if you go to the same college or university. So I like that. No, he's not putting up 81 points. But I like his composure in this situation. The Red Raiders are not the Red Raiders of years past that can put up 60 fucking points and still lose the game or win the game. Not that team. Don't know where they're at offensively, but defensively and special teams, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Texas Tech. I don't think that'll be enough to slow down the Ducks, because the Ducks are quacking. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Ducks. And I don't know what uniforms they're going to roll with, because they will change uniforms 9 times during the game and won't nobody know it. But I'm going with Oregon.
Well, I look at it this way. Oregon Ducks put up 81 points against Portland State because it didn't want to score 100 points. Bo Nix was 23 out of 27. Bucky Irvin needed just 4 carries to run for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Ducks got their money's worth with the 81-7 win. Now it's time Texas Tech's defense that couldn't stop Wyoming when it really counted defensively. Exactly option that with the Ducks but they didn't crack up the pressure against the Vikings because it didn't have to. They didn't show anything to Texas Tech. They're stuffed the run, and they should be able to get to quarterback Tyler Strutt. The former Oregon quarterback that now is running the Texas Tech Red Raiders offense. Tyler Strutt is now at Texas Tech. Former Oregon quarterback, now going to play his Ducks in Lubbock. What do we see here from Irvin and the Texas Tech? Can Irvin run all over the Texas Tech defense like he did in Portland?
Well, the good thing about the quarterback at Texas Tech, he knows this Oregon defense. He knows it. He knows what to look for. He knows what he can see. Now, he just had to pass that message along. I hope he did in practice on the scheme, what to look for. Because those little innuendos can help a team. Those little bitty yellow stickers can help people. With little footnotes can help you, especially your position player. And you're going up against a matchup like this, I think it can be helpful. But will it be enough? Will it be enough? Because Oregon has some firepower, man, and they have energy. They're another school or program. They don't get tired as a whole either. They don't get tired. They got more gas and more gas and more gas to put on any type of fire they want to, or any type of truck or car to get what they're trying to get. I don't think they'll get slowed down too much, that big of a difference with the quarterback situation at Texas Tech. I got Baylor winning this game, but not by a big blowout.
Texas
Tech. There's going to be a lot of points in this game, but not a blowout.
You gonna take Texas Tech in this game?
No. Take Oregon.
Taking Oregon. All right, I'm going with number 13 Oregon, but the only thing is Texas Tech's got to make Bo Nix not feel comfortable. If he gets comfortable, it's all over. It's just done. You got to keep him. You got to get to him early. You got to keep him on pressure. You got to keep him down. I don't think Texas Tech's got that kind of thing, but the over and under is 68.5. Oregon's favored by 6.5. Or they say Oregon's going to win 41-34. So. All right. We got we got 2 more games to break down, but we're gonna go real quick to the rapid fire. So right now we're at game number 52. We got to go all the way down to 82. So we got 30 more games to pick here.
Oh man, will I have enough time for all that?
Yes, we will. Because we're gonna do a speed round right now. Jackson State at Coastal Carolina. Who you got?
Give me Coastal Carolina.
I'm taking Coastal Carolina too. UConn at Georgia State.
Give me UConn. I like the way they put up a fight last week.
I'm taking Georgia State on this one. Northwestern State versus Louisiana Tech. Who you got?
Give me La Tech.
Taking La Tech. I'm going to take La Tech too. Middle Tennessee at Missouri. Who you got?
Give me Missouri. Luther Burton. Luther Burton.
Houston Christian versus Western Kentucky.
Be Western Kentucky.
I'm taking the Hilltoppers on this one. UCF at Boise State.
UCF.
On the blue turf. Houston at Rice.
Give me Houston.
I got Houston too. I got UCF. Florida A&M versus South Florida.
Give me FAMU.
You take FAMU. I'm taking South Florida on this one. Memphis at Arkansas State.
Memphis.
I got Memphis too. Idaho versus Nevada.
I am not a hoe, but I take Nevada.
I got Nevada too. Grambling at number 14 LSU.
LSU. Although the halftime show gonna be off the chain. Shout out to my boy DJ Fat.
Number 19. All right, there we go. We're gonna break down number 19 Wisconsin real quick here. We're not gonna take too long on them, but we're gonna break them down real quick. They're going up against Washington State at Cougar up in Washington State area, wherever that's located at. Oh, there it is. Pullman, Washington at 7:30 TV, ABC. What do you look for Wisconsin? Wisconsin showed some different kind of offense there.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
It's not all about the running game anymore. They're trying to mix things up. I saw that Wisconsin. I mean, I wonder if Russell Wilson reached out to that program with something going on. I like what I saw. Is that something all year, or was it just that particular matchup? I guess time will tell. But I'm taking Washington State.
Well, Wisconsin offense is former North Carolina's offense because the offensive coordinator from North Carolina went to Wisconsin. Him and Fickle are good friends. And so you saw a little bit of what they did in North Carolina, what he did in North Carolina in Wisconsin. I think it's a little bit of a mix of motion. I think a little bit what we see here on this game. I think this has got to be a little bit of a tricky situation for them. I don't think Washington State can handle this type of offense, but I don't think Wisconsin defense is going to be that good either with Washington's offense. So this is going to be a tit for tat here, but I'm going with Wisconsin in this game. I think Wisconsin's got a little bit more around play caller than Washington State does. So, and you're going with the Cougars?
Yes.
All right, you got the Cougars. You got the Washington State. All right, my friend. I didn't do this one because they play McNeese State. I figure Florida will have a chance of winning against McNeese State easily. So, what do you got to take on your Gators and McNeese and
McNeese
Gainesville?
State playing Florida at the Swamp. It's a home opener for us. One more person tell me that even though we lost to Utah, the quarterback still passed for 70%, over 300 yards, and 11 different receivers. And here's my question. Did we win the game?
No.
It should be a vote to wear the number 15 at Florida, in my opinion. My opinion. These opinions expressed by Dre Montez and nobody else. I don't think he should wear the number 15. If we don't shut out McNeese State, I don't care if it's 3-0, 7-0, 14-0, 11-0. This game should be a shutout. If not, if this game is close or we lose this game, we're gonna need an interim coach the rest of the year.
That is good too. That's a good point. I think the Gators going to handle them willingly. I got the Gators too. Charlotte at Maryland. Who you got?
Give me Maryland.
I'm taking the
Fighting Turtle.
I'm taking the Fighting Turtle over the 49ers. Eastern Michigan at Minnesota. Who you got?
Give me Minnesota. Oh, flick.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota too. Arizona at Mississippi State. Who you got?
Mississippi State.
Taking Mississippi State too in Starksville. Temple at Rutgers. Who you got on this one?
Oh my goodness, this is a boring. These kids have nothing better to do. Everybody girlfriend will be there. You better hear people chewing. This game will be so quiet. Give me Temple.
You taking Temple? All right. We got Temple going into Padaway, New Jersey to beat Rutgers. All right. Furman at South Carolina.
Give me South Cackalack.
I'm taking South Carolina to get back on track. UCLA at San Diego State.
The Bruins versus the Aztecs. Woo! Give me Euclid. Give me Chip Kelly. Euclid.
You taking them?
Give me Chip Kelly.
Yep. I'm taking them too. UCLA. Air Force at Sam Houston.
Give me Air Force. Aim high.
Aim high, Air Force, goddamn. Nichols versus TCU.
Versus TCU?
Yep.
They definitely need this. This is a morale win. Give me TCU. They need this.
Taking TCU too. Lamar versus University of Louisiana Monroe.
Give me University of Louisiana Monroe.
I'll take that too. Tennessee Tech and New Mexico.
Give me New Mexico.
Taking New Mexico. Also, Idaho State versus Utah State.
Woo! Give me that Ute State.
Yeah, I'm taking Utah State. Southern Mississippi versus number 4 Florida State at Dale Campbell Stadium at 9 o'clock. Who you got?
Southern Miss, that's Brett Favre, right?
Yep.
Hell no. Give me Florida State.
I'm taking the Gators. I'm taking the Seminoles too. UC Davis versus number 16 Oregon State. Who you got?
Give me them Beavers any day of the week. What's a beaver, honey? I just had it stuffed. Oregon State.
Eastern Washington versus Fresno State.
Fresno State Bulldogs. Give them to me.
Gotcha. Our next game we're going to break down, ladies and gentlemen, is number 79. We only got 3 more games to go, but this is the last breakdown game that we have that we're going to talk about. It is Stanford Cardinals 1-0 versus USC, who is also 1-0. I don't know why I changed that, but
if Stanford program was still the way Stanford program was even 5 years ago, this would be one hell of a fucking matchup. This would be the game of the weekend. If that Stanford program was where it was at, where it was 5 years ago, what happened with that program? What happened? They were at the top of the game. They were at the apex of the quarterback position, the running back, defense, special team, receiving core. They had it all. Then overnight, they can't get any playmakers out there. They're not buying the talk anymore. They found out that's not how to make coffee, I guess.
yeah, I look at it this way. I think Shaw stayed too long past his time. I think when he started going to the NFL draft and started commenting on the draft, I think that kind of pulled down the recruiting a little bit for him, and I think that led to his demise, and that's why he got let go. If you look at this offense here, you're looking at one guy. That's Williams for USC at quarterback.
Caleb.
But quarterback Austin Daniels was terrific. The running game averaged almost 5 yards per carry, and the pass rush that created 6 sacks was fantastic. Caleb Williams has to be pressured. He might be brilliant and profitable quarterback, but let him get comfortable and forget it.
If he gets comfortable, that's 600 yards easily. You keep him on a run, that's 400 plus. You make him he made a throw running out of bounds last week, running out of bounds to his right, threw back to his left, threw a dime piece over the defender's head, right in the fingertips of the receivers. Was it the throw? Was it the catch? I don't know. It was a first down in the red zone. This young man can throw on the run better than anybody standing in the pocket. He can hit a moving target when he's moving and the defender's moving and his receiver is moving. This dude is something else to watch. We're watching possibly back-to-back Heisman here, winner. But I don't want to go too far to curve because it is Stanford. It is the pack. It is the pack. That's history. Alumni gets involved, getting these kids' heads. So I don't want to count Stanford out too bad just because they're not playing the way I want them to play, how they used to play. They went away from that. I guess they're trying something out completely new now. But I like this USC team. They're fun to watch. And what time does this game come on?
This game is a 9 o'clock game on Fox.
Son of a bitch. See, I want a normal starting time for games, man. That game won't be over at midnight.
Yep. The jury's still out on the USC's defense. It hasn't been as bad as all of the national hype are making it out to be, but it is not generating the turnovers so far like it did last year. But there isn't a ton of stress when the offense is putting up close to 600 yards per game with a high power for attack that doesn't need anything, does anything it wants. Against Stanford, that was strong in the opener against Hawaii, but Brenton Stryger threw for 355 yards and 3 touchdowns as the spread it around the yards. Now it's Williams' turn to carve up this Stanford defense. And really bad 2022 Cardinals team was never really in against USC after the first quarter, but 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns made it a 13-point game with over 5 minutes left to play. The Trojans closed it out 41-28, but Stanford kept pressure.
Even though these schools have played some classic matchups back in the day, classic matchups, one program clearly is projecting up, and one program is like in the middle. with the projectile going down slightly a little bit, that being Stanford. This game could definitely change the outlook as far as recruiting, the transfer portal, and the commitment of the Stanford team. If they can go out here and get this dub against USC and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. Now, on the other side, you said that USC defense has not been really the hype point. They're not going to be when you have a Heisman Trophy winner on the offensive side of the ball. There's no need to talk about USC defense yet until they get in a situation where they need the defense to make a play. It's all been on Caleb. He sets the tone for the team. He's coming out scoring on that open drive. Then the other teams tries to match up, and they end up going 3 in and out, 3 out, or committing a turnover by themselves, not one that's induced by the defense. If you're just throwing the ball, you can throw an interception. If you don't want to hold on to the ball, you can fumble. Before as a defense causing turnovers, USC is not there yet. They're not there yet. Can it come? Time will tell. Time will tell. But right now, they have the driver in Caleb at the quarterback, and he got this thing. Stanford need to do this thing as a team collectively, and coaches need to get involved. Roll your sleeves up. Get involved.
Yeah, I look at it this way. They got the game right now at 69.5 over and under. USC is favored to win by 29.5. They say the score is going to be 44-27 USC. So who are you taking in this ball game?
I'm taking USC, and I'm also more intrigued to see what these former NFL players that are graduates have played at USC and Stanford. I would be curious to see what they're betting on, especially Keyshawn and Richard Sherman. I would love to know what type of bet they got on the line for this one.
I do too. That's going to be curious. I agree with you on that one. So we'll see here. All right, we're going to go back to our rapid fire segment here. We got exactly 3 games to pick. Auburn at California. This is a 10:30 game on ESPN. Who you got?
Who is Auburn? Who is the Auburn Tigers? Who are they? It's like another program. They just fading away like they don't care about the football program anymore. I want to see Auburn Tiger football as Auburn Tiger used to do on the defensive side. Hit somebody in the fucking mouth. I'm picking Auburn.
I got Auburn too. Hugh Freeze is back in the SEC. He's got Auburn looking pretty good so far. Oklahoma State at Arizona State at 10:30. Who you got?
Oklahoma State at Arizona State?
Yep.
They did home run. So, no. Give me Oklahoma State. Give me OK State.
I'm going to take Arizona. I'm taking Arizona State for this one because they're at home. University of Albany versus Hawaii at 11:59 in Hawaii. Who you got?
Give me Hawaii. I'm not giving up on 808.
I'm taking Hawaii too. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all of our 82 games picked for the day. But we need to do rapid fire for the first 3 games of next week here. Who you got? Bethune-Cookman at Miami. Who you got?
Give me Miami.
I'm taking Miami too. On the Friday's matchup, Virginia at Maryland. Who you got?
Give me the Fear the Turtle. Give me Maryland.
I got Maryland too. Army at UTSA at 7 o'clock on ESPN on Friday. Who you got?
Ooh, give me UTSA on that one. I know I like Army's new offense, but I like UTSA as well.
I'm going to take Army on that one. Utah State at Air Force at 8 o'clock on Friday. Who you got?
Give me them Utes of the state, Utah State.
I'm taking Air Force in that one. Well, that's it. That's all the thing. We got all the first week for week 3 taken care of. We'll be back on September 16th live at 9 to 12, leading all the way up to game kickoff. Right now, we're about 10 minutes away to kickoff time. I know Dre's got to run here, but Dre, you got a last few words here real quick before you take off?
Good luck to everybody that has their college football team going this weekend. I hope your school or university does it for you. For all my people out there betting for entertainment purposes only, let's get that money and get the bag. Go Gators.
The Gator Chomp. Well, the Tar Heels on my outlook here is the Tar Heels beating Appalachian State, but the game of the week that I've said all along is number 11 Texas versus number 3 Alabama in Brian Kennedy Stadium. I think Texas is going to win. That's my opinion. I think they got their heartbreak last year. I think they're going to give Alabama the taste of their own medicine at their stadium. And I think this is going to be a different Texas team that everybody's going to be proved wrong here. What do you take?
I think everybody's going to be goo-goo for Gaga over that matchup as well. I think we got 4 big games that are really going to get a lot of attention this weekend coming up. A couple of sleepers in there. I think the main attention game is going to be taken advantage of, though. Really do. And I hope it doesn't change already to Dion taking a head coaching job at Florida State or taking a head coaching job at Dallas. Let's let this college season go all the way through before we giving people jobs at another college university or in the NFL. Let's enjoy the talent in the entertainment right now.
Well, we got right now 11 o'clock. Kickoff time has already kicked off. Wake Forest versus Vanderbilt. They're playing right now. And on the ACC network, this has been Dre. This has been Ray. This has been the College Breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network. Stay tuned for Unscripted, the rest of this, and the Red Kingdom that comes up on today. And on Sunday, the Touchdown Crew is back. The NFL Touchdown Crew with Charles and the coaches. Be with them on Sunday mornings. And then they got the Maverick Wrestling Show on Sunday nights also. And the Jags Nation will be coming back on this Sunday, leading all the way up to week 1 of the Jaguars season. So I'll be with you on that one. Dre, we see you Saturday.
Gotcha,
peace out, brother.
Have a good one, all right?
Y'all have a good one.
All right, peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. Gridiron the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.